Okay, so what we are going to look into this particular session is hiring an employee and setting up some other relationships for that particular employee. I'm going to log in as Robert Jackman, and once I'm logged in as Robert, I can see here that there are limited options that I have. So I'm going to click on my workforce, and then within my workforce I have option to create a new person and manage people. So I'm going to click on new person, which will open up the new person creation work area. So first thing which we are going to do is we are going to hire an employee. And if you recall, I have this task pane here, and from the task pane I can click hire an employee to open the hiring page. So this is the identification page where I have to set up the employee details. Again, I'm going to set up the date as 1/1/2013 as the hire date. Hire action is hire. Hiring reason is hire for a vacant position. My legal employer is US 1 legal entity, US. Let's hire Robin Williams and give them a title. If I have any prefix, suffix, middle names, honors, preferred name, I can have a local name. So there are different fields which are all optional, which I can select and enter if I want to. So I'm going to click on this and then click next. And as you can see, again, this is the train. So the first thing I do is identification, second is personal information, and then it goes to next stops. Now what I want to show you here is there is a matching person records alert. So as you can see, there are other people with a similar name. As you can see that there is a Williams Robin, and then there's Williams Amanda, Brad, Jerry, Linda, Chandra. So the system is actually telling me that there are people with a similar name. Are you sure that the person you are hiring is not one of these? And yes, I am sure, so I'm gonna continue. Or if I think that, oh yes, actually one of these person is what I am trying to hire, so I can go and select that person and do a rehire transaction rather than hiring a new person. So I'm going to say cancel out here and go next. So if I don't want to do this, then I'm going to say continue, which means that I want to continue with the record that I entered, and then it will not worry about being a duplicate record. So here I'm going to do address, again address that we entered, our zip code is 76621, which should automatically pull everything else. And then I don't want to enter any phone details, I don't want to enter so I do want to add just the emails and my work email, and then my email will be rob.williams@test.com, and that is my legislative information. So if I want to add the legislative information, then I'm going to come here and enter some of those information. I can enter this education status, things like that. So now that it seems that I have entered everything that I need, I'm going to click on next, and that should take me to the assignment or employment information. So this is the assignment information. In here I'm going to select a business unit, person type is employee, in the job section, I'm going to select Human Resource Administrator. And in the grade, I will select oh, 03. The department is, of course, Human Resources US. Manager information that I need to fill is right here. So I'm going to go and add manager. Linda Swift, who is the line manager for him. So we are setting up the relationship for this employee with their manager. And then if I have anything else that I want to add, let's say you remember collective agreement is the one that we created. So I'm going to add that collective agreement here for the manufacturing bargaining unit. And then we created one collective agreement here. And is he a union member? So I'm going to say yes. So this is the location head count where he is being assigned. So this completes the form. Then I'm going to go to the next screen and enter his compensation details. So if you remember yesterday we set up a salary basis. So I'm going to just select that salary basis, the US1 annual salary, and then I'm going to give him a salary of, let's say, $70,000. Again, you can set up other things here. You can set up a next salary review date, and you can see where he is being placed in what range in the salary grade. You can set up his expenses information. We can set up other compensation if you want to reward stocks, things like that. And you can also give him roles right here. But for now, I'm going to skip all that and I'm going to click on next and then quickly review all the information that we provided. So as you can see, everything looks good. I will submit this. Yes, we want to continue. So the next step, what we are going to do is we just hired this employee, and even though we hired him as a person in this legal entity, which means in the US, he is an employee for US1. But what if he was a contingent worker in another legal entity? Because it happens in a lot of organization where you have one employee who is loaned into another organization. So he works as a contingent worker in another legal entity. So we are going to create that and we'll show you how to create a work relationship. So let me walk you through that process. First, we will stop this right here and then we'll come back in the system and then do the transaction.